Thank you, Matna. Many kids or young people call me all kinds of fancy names. Sometimes little drummer boy. That will do. Thank you for inviting me to this event. Thank you, Tony. I will show a small piece of drum dancing and also a bit of music that I learned while I was in Inuit Nunavut as a teacher. And before I share my drum dancing with you, I was hoping that I will able to play my background music with computer, but sometimes things don't work. So I will perform solo without background music next time for sure. But anyway, while I was at the college in Fort Smith, I became a good friend with several of the young people and all across the Mackenzie Delta, First Nation people and Métis. On my second year, my friend George Clary and I decided to charter a little plane to look for caribou. We collect enough money to charter a small plane, and away we went north of Fort Smith for a day. Someone gave me a very old gun, almost like a small cannon. It's so rusty, and the caliber is something I know very well, 303 British. So away we went. We circled the lake, and caribou were just in the middle of the lake. We landed. My friends started shooting caribou. Caribou went down. And this old gun, I could barely move things. Finally, with a big force, it was ready to get my caribou. Sure enough, one big bang, and I think I hit the trees at the side of the lake and missed everything, and I couldn't move it. I couldn't shoot anymore. But anyway, we got enough care to bring back the students at teacher education in Fort Smith. Next morning, I went back to my class. I don't know why I took a taxi. I wasn't that tired, but I took a taxi. And my driver looks like somebody local and started to chat with me right away. He said, do you know, hear anything about that Inuit guy yesterday who went on a little plane, missed the shot, all those things? Yeah, I heard about him. I almost said it was me. But I'm not going to tell you about the driver. I think he's either First Nation or Métis, but I'm not telling. Thanks again for inviting me. While I was growing up, I know it was not just me thinking that Inuit drum dancing and Inuit language will never fade away. But in my short 72 years, when I look back how rich the drum dancing and singing and Inuit language was so full of life not long ago. Then today, looking at reality, all these masters of drumming, composing songs, drum making, they have all passed away. Then there's us. And I was just telling the group yesterday and the day before that elders supposed to know everything, including composing songs. I told the group that my generation didn't capture the art of song making or composing beat. And a generation before me, which was like my late brother Cyrus Lingayo's generation, they don't know how to compose songs either. But we can have songs that were given to us. I was one of the lucky few people that were able to be given a personal song composed by my namesake, Serkoak or Serkoak from Anada Lake days. All my group, and I'm sure other Inuit and Eastern Nordic who are familiar with drum dancing and keeping songs beat alive, they all know when the person with a song passed away, that the song could also die. But I was lucky. Serkoak often tells me, "You're going to learn how to drum dance." At the time, I don't know. I will become an owner of his song. When he passed away, I become an owner. That's how they pass on to generation after generation. All the Inuit in Eastern Arctic, especially in Kivalliq and part of Kajangmute. Many songs have not been recorded. They are gone forever. But in 2007, I was just in Ottawa now for a year. An elder from Okviet, from Anada Lake days, Mary Anada Lake, phoned me one evening and said, "I can record your songs. Your father's song, Mickey's, Kahok's song, my mother, your song, Serkoak, and also your great-grandparents, which I never met. I can record them for you." So she did, and I was hoping to share a song or two, but next time for sure. And now I am a grandfather of 6, and one of them is named after me, Laura Serkoak Kilabak, my oldest daughter's first child. Now she is a co-owner of the song that I will share next time. Now, learning somebody else's song is easy. And the reason why my generation failed to compose songs, very simple, because all the traditional songs composed by men and women, they have to follow and written rules of bishop making or composing songs for both men and women. I think we don't want to make up songs that are wishy-washy type of songs. That is one of the reasons I didn't even make an attempt. Although I made many classroom songs, I didn't even make an effort to try to compose a traditional song because I don't know how. I don't know the unwritten rules. I don't want to change what they've been using for generations. Somebody else's song I was sharing the other night with kids in Ottawa, and I will again on this coming Friday. Songs I learned from Inuit teachers and some from parents, and also from recorded music. When I moved to Iqaluit in 1989, we had all Inuit teachers conference, which I thought was holy socks. This is something we never dream of, all Inuit teachers conference. Here is the funny part. I was sitting on the floor listening to a speaker talking Inuktitut. Someone tapped me at the back here. Someone that is higher than me at work. A lady from Pikatani School Operations. She said, "David, you're recording some classroom songs tomorrow." I didn't swear, but I didn't say anything, but she said, "You're going to record some classroom songs tomorrow." So my mind was, what songs do I know that I use in kindergarten, grade 1, grade 2, in Inuktitut classes? So I digged them up. The morning came. The recording was there, guitar was there. I was singing my classroom songs. And a day later, some elders were also being recorded. People from North Baffin and a few other places, some traditional and some also classroom songs. It was real opening for me. I thought people in Baffin don't know any songs or how to drum dance, especially drum dance. But that day, that night, the day after, a lady from Pond Inlet recorded a song. And I said, I'm going to learn that song. I'm going to learn that song. I don't read music, but the lady and the man from Baffin Division Board is an expert on writing music notes, and he did. The tune you can follow without words with any instrument, I'm sure. The lady, I'm sure some of the audience here know her, Elizabeth Utavak. She recorded a song called Utsak Banginivungam. I'm going to share part of the song with you. Then I get into drum dancing shortly. And I remember her singing this. excuse me if I pronounce some of the words are so ancient I cannot pronounce them properly. Here it is. Utsik panginibunga kitunga lang muli iya ya 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 iya ya 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 utsik panginibunga utsik panginibunga kitunga lang muli iya ya 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 iya ya 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 du saleron nangipin du saleron nangipin sila nang mimanga iya ya 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 iya ya 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 nalagpak sinakpin nalagpak sinakpi sila'y nang mimangat iya ya 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 iya ya 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 taguliron ng ipin taguliron ng ipin sila'y nang mimangat iya ya 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 iya ya 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 kinik pagkaluakpin kinik pagkaluakpin sila'y nang mimanga iya ya 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 iya ya 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 utsik panginibunga utsik panginibunga kitunga lang muli iya ya ya ya. This song, I said, I'm going to learn it. So I shared it with kids at college level many times. And some of the kids can, just looking at the notes, and play music with it. I wish I know how. Now, drumming is also part of my life pretty well. I think I almost mentioned to you how old I am. I hope nobody noticed. I think I mentioned I'm between 72 and 99. And looking back, my family and other helped me with drum dancing. And that is so part of their life. Part of their life. And I'm sure many feel the same way in Eastern Arctic. It's part of their Inuitness, like a piece of puzzle of Inuit person that is also dying art today. But it's good to see, even at this late stage of disappearing art, young people are interpreting their own way to bring it back. Drum dancing with new modern moves, adding on to modern music, and they're creating their own movements. Many people ask me all the time, what do you think of those young dancers? Very simple. I'm not a drumming policeman. I can support any drummer that learning drum dancing. I'm sure somewhere along the line they will learn traditional drum dancing, which is one drummer dancing to a recorded music or someone singing while they drum dance. Before I demonstrate to you, I'll share how personal drum dancing is. In 2005, I was at the meeting in Inuit. Call came from Okvia that my late mother Kahok is very sick, that I have to come right now or tomorrow. By the time I left Iqaluit, it's not Okvia to anymore, it was to Winnipeg. She was at Hill Science Center with all kinds of tubes and wires all over her body. Her doctor said, David, nothing will change. You better talk to your family. I only have my brother Silas and my late Uncle Casimir. So I phoned them and tell them the situation. Both told me right away, this is not our mother the way she is. This is not my sister the way she is. She's full of life. She's full of love. She's full of song and dance. We know her better than the rest of the world. I'm sure she won't want to live like that in bed 24/7. So they guaranteed to me to pass on the information to the doctor to turn off the machine. And I accompanied her to Okviat for burial. And her friends from Anada Lake were there. Right after the service, we were still in the church, and a few of her friends asked me, do you want to drum dance tonight at our house? I almost said no, but I said yes. So the night came. Casimir, my brother Silas, Nutagaluk, and few of her friends were there with tea and bani, caribou, that sort of stuff, a Helmut delicacy. We start to drum dance. My Uncle Casimir drum dance, my brother, and I was still reluctant to drum dance on the very day. It was my turn, and I was allowed to perform. Just there's only 3 of us to drum dance. While I was drumming, I think I drum danced to 2 songs. And here I was so blue all day, all week, while I was still drumming in less than 5 minutes. I feel very good. It's like something come over me like a wind, or I don't know, but it was like a medicine. I feel good. I feel good by the time I end the song. That's how powerful drumming was to them that I experienced also that night. I told myself that I will pass on. Although I know this much of drum dancing, I will pass it on to whoever wants to learn. 1 person audience or 100 people audience, I can share it anytime. So I wish I have a singer to drum dance. Now I'm going to demonstrate to you how simple it is, but also for people, it takes days and weeks and months to be a comfortable drummer. That's when you drum dance, you're showing part of your Inuitness. You do your best to show your audience, to be confident, to be entertaining. So people will say, we should drum dance more. I always say to my students, you don't have to drum dance like me. I can teach you just the basic drumming. Then you create your own movement. Then often tell them, when you go home, teach your mom, teach your dad, your brother, or your sister. And few of them did. Now, while I was teaching at Jomi School, we had a drum club. During one of the teacher interviews, couple told me on their way out and come back and say, David, I'm really appreciating about drum club at Jomi School. My daughter or son, it's the first drummer in first and second generation. That's how far back drumming is absent from many families in South Baffin. So I'm going to drum dance for you. Before each drum dance, people used to come all over around the surroundings for miles to witness the evening, tomorrow night, third night, and they feast, drum dance. By end of their festival, they go back really energized for eating together, drum dancing together, and sharing their winter, who survived the harsh winters of the wicked winters of Inuit. So here is a Inuit style drum dancing. Matna, thank you for watching. Thank you for inviting me.